What up, folks? You're tuned into the Stitch and Sham Show. We are on Zoom today due to some unforeseen circumstances. But I am one of your hosts, Sham Phoenix.
And I am the other, Stitch Early.
And again, you're tuned into the Stitch and Sham Show. Today, really, we're going to dedicate this episode. We're going to dedicate this episode to the Los Angeles Clippers.
Son.
Let me tell you why we're going to do this, folks. As we told you guys in the very beginning of the Stitch and Sham Show's existence, we are heavy LeBron fans. It's just the way it is. And in the beginning of this NBA season, there was a lot of disrespect being shown to my man. They was out here disrespecting his name. They were saying that Kawhi and Giannis and all of these guys are better than him. And rightfully so, those guys were playing really, really well during that period of time or coming into the season. But I always knew in my heart that they were missing something. They just were missing something. LeBron went through the same stage where he was missing something.
Yeah, yep.
You know what I mean? And this playoffs showed it completely.
Yeah, definitely.
Showed it completely. So to see him in the Western Conference Finals is a joy to me because what I felt from the beginning of the season has come to fruition.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I don't wish bad on anybody, but the truth is the truth.
It is.
And
yes. The truth is the truth.
And we've seen it.
And I think the crazy thing about it is, like I've tried to think of other players that it's happened to, but LeBron James seems to be like the one superstar. And I'm not talking about, I've seen people talk about other superstars, but I'm talking about when it is the one at the top of the pile. Like when Kobe was at the top of the pile, when Jordan was at the top of the pile. I never seen people like trying to find someone to take Jordan's place. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like you would see people come in like a Harold Miner and stuff, and they'd be like, "Oh, that's baby Jordan. Like he gonna be the next up."
Yeah, but it wasn't. Is a lower equivalent. It's not like this is the next.
But it would be like, yo, this is the next guy. Like Jordan's washed. He's out of here. This guy's playing now. It's like even when you seen the Kobe's and stuff like that, nobody was like talking crazy about MJ like that. With Kobe, even as Kobe got older. You know, they never talked about Kobe crazy. With LeBron, it'd be like they're searching for somebody. Hey, Bron, get up out of here because we got Hey, Giannis is better. Kawhi is better. KD is better. Like, and it's like I can at least give KD. KD is a different type of player.
Yeah.
Sense of the things that KD can do on a court from inside out. But it's like all of a sudden Kawhi wins an MVP. With the Spurs, wasn't the star of the Spurs.
Yeah.
Wasn't but he guarded
Finals
LeBron.
MVP. Make sure you meant
Finals MVP.
Yeah, Finals MVP.
And it was because he won a MVP for the same reason that Iguodala won an MVP.
Yes.
Because they guarded LeBron James in the finals. That was it.
That's it.
Because LeBron still did his thing. It wasn't like he held LeBron to 10 points, 2 rebounds, you know what I'm saying, 1 block. No. Y'all just won.
He averaged 33 in the series that Kawhi got that finals MVP. LeBron averaged 33 points in that series.
And against Iguodala, he averaged a triple-double.
Yeah.
And they won the MVPs not because of their greatness, but because of who they guarded.
Yeah.
In that series. Whereas I'll give Kawhi, Toronto is all to Kawhi. Like, yes, it's the team.
Is it really?
Well, no, but I'm saying in the sense of if Kawhi doesn't make that lucky shot, they're not there. They're not there. Like if we take away that shot going in, we're not talking about Kawhi Leonard right now.
I don't know because there was a couple games during that. People tend to leave this out. There was a couple of games during his championship run with the Raptors where he kind of showed up like he did against the Nuggets.
No, it was that Steph Curry where like Steph, there was some games where
Steph does it all the time.
Steph, it happens.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, but if we take away that shot,
oh yeah, they don't.
Then we don't talk about, like, for instance, if the Heat end up winning, say Bam Adebayo does nothing else.
Yeah.
Say he's just average the rest of the time.
Yeah.
If we take away that block from yesterday,
yeah,
then it's like, y'all aren't even in the position y'all are in if Bam doesn't block that shot.
True.
So in the sense of, I agree with you in the sense of like, yeah, Kawhi, as far as the ups and downs of that, but him hitting that last shot, a lucky shot, which it was, like probably the luckiest shot ever to move an opponent onto the next round.
It hit the rim and went like 70 feet in the air.
4 times.
Yeah.
Like that joint 4 times. Like I've never seen nothing like it before.
Yeah.
And to move them on, it's like if you take that shot away, we're not talking about Kawhi Leonard right now. Like at all.
That's true.
I think that shot going in, it added a level to him that he went from like just being like, man, he's a good player to like, yo, he's the best player in the league. And I was like, he's real good.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I'm saying like he's the best, especially if LeBron James is still here.
I'm trying to think of a worse choke. Like, man, I'm trying to think, man. That might have been the worst one I've seen.
You have to go to another sport, which would be the Atlanta Falcons.
Yes, that
was bad.
And you know what's crazy? And I always tell people this. I was living in Atlanta at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And normally when I got off the bus to go to work, the city is popping. I'm talking about everybody. Homeless people popping, business people. Buses is moving, cabs is going. I literally, when the bus dropped me off on the corner of Peachtree, and I got off that bus, the absolute silence that I heard in the city. It was like nobody was walking on the street. Funny. Like when I walked into my building, everybody who's normally like, good morning, hey, how you doing? Hey. They was just like, I don't have anything to say.
Yeah, I don't have nothing to say, No,
and I felt every bit of that Atlanta loss to
that's that one, and then when the Cavs came back.
But see, this is the thing about when the Cavs came back. When the Cavs came back, at least the Warriors were still fighting.
Yeah.
Okay, they were fighting.
I get
they
that.
were still knocking down shots. Like things were still happening.
Yeah.
Like with the Clippers, it just felt like
even when Denver came back against Utah was still fighting. Like Utah wasn't like it wasn't. None of those games were just like, yo, we got y'all up out of here. Like
that last game.
It reminded me of the last game against the Lakers against Houston.
Yeah.
Where just like Houston just seemed like, yo, it's over. Like
this is it.
We about to go back to Houston.
Yeah.
Get about this bubble. But that's what it looked like. But it's just like the onslaught of excuses that came afterwards.
Oh man. It was horrible. Some of the stuff that people were saying was mad disgraceful.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what? Like Chris Broussard was like, Paul George was right. Like they didn't get to play together that long. I was like, man, I don't want to hear it. The Lakers are in the same boat. AD just came there this year.
Yep. And so did the Celtics. Kemba Walker just got there. So it's not like, you know what I mean? Y'all have this. The majority of that team was there.
Yes.
Y'all added 2 players. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like there's other teams that have been there. And as far as like when you just match up person for person, like on paper, if I look at the Denver Nuggets on paper, the only name that you should be worried about Murray, but the name that you're really focused on is Jokic.
Yeah,
you're like, yo, because man, but if I look on paper and I go like, oh, y'all got Paul George, and y'all got Kawhi Leonard, and y'all got like 3 times 6th man of the year. The dude that anytime they was winning and Lou Williams was doing good, it was like, yo, Lou Williams is that guy. Yeah. And then they lose, and it's like,
he should have been a closer.
Yeah, he should have been. He should
I
have
was like,
been getting
didn't
lemon
y'all
pepper
pay
wings.
Kawhi to do that?
He should not have been getting lemon pepper wings, and he might have got into a rhythm before he.
When Skip said that Kawhi was not the closer, I was like, so that's the excuse. So how is he better than LeBron when you said that LeBron is not a closer?
You said LeBron's not a closer, but he closes.
But he be closing.
But Kawhi is not a closer.
LeBron is like the night manager at Wendy's. He closes it. He shuts that thing down.
You know what I'm saying? In some way, shape, or form.
In some way, shape, or form.
It might not always be like the last point.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
He will have a hand in the last point.
Yeah, like him getting that block against the Warriors opened up the door for Kyrie to hit that three. And yes, of course, you give Kyrie the credit because Kyrie has to hit that three.
Just like a couple times during the playoffs, like Caruso hit a shot that came off of LeBron's hands.
Yeah.
Like he's that type of guy. And I think that's the thing that angered me about the beginning of the year and why I really started kind of like distance myself from sports talk because I was like, yo, this thing is driven by media. And if the media want LeBron James to be the focal point in a negative way,
they'll push it to that. Yep.
And I knew Kawhi's not better than LeBron. I knew Giannis wasn't better than LeBron. Is Giannis more younger than LeBron? Yes. Is he more? I just don't think. There's not
honestly,
too many things that Giannis does better than LeBron.
Yeah, I don't think that there's anything that Giannis does better than LeBron.
Yeah. In the sense,
and I say that in the sense of anything that you're gonna attest to Giannis is because of youth. And it's because of it's oh man, he has long strides. Oh, he's strong. Him and LeBron go to the basket just like
the same way.
They both go to the basket the same way. The only difference is LeBron can hit a three. LeBron can go mid-range. LeBron can do other things on the court. Giannis is a good passer, but there's stuff that I think got exposed in the postseason this year where teams went, yo, we're just going to go at him and force him to figure stuff out. And when that happened, it was like, oh, who do I get the ball to? You saw him trying to do too much.
Yeah, I think that's the thing that got exposed is basketball IQ.
Mm-hmm.
Even with the Clippers.
Yeah.
Like they're the breakdown of the two-man game between Jamal Murray and Jokic was really bad. The defense on that was really Jokic was getting into the middle of the floor, and once he was getting the ball in the middle of the floor, he was attacking the same side where the same two players were, the high man and the low man.
They literally did like a triangle from the middle.
Yes.
You had Jokic in the middle, and then he had a man on this side and this side. And then you had Jokic in the middle, and he had a man on this side and this side. When he looked this way, because of the defense they were playing, it would be like, I'm going to look here, and y'all both going to jump over there. I'm going to kick the ball this way. And they did that joint like all the time. Like to where it was.
That's why I say basketball IQ, because Jokic was grabbing the ball, keeping it high, and looking directly in the areas that he wanted to. He was even looking off defenders.
Yep.
So he would look low to that low man in the corner and then just pass it to the dude high because the bad defense of the Clippers goes, oh, Jokic got the ball. He grabbed it. Oh, he's looking to the corner. Let's get there. And two guys are going to one corner, and then he's kicking it to the dude who's at the high elbow of the three, and just knocking. They were knocking it down.
And nobody could guard him. They put Paul George on him. They put Kawhi on him. They put the whole team on him.
And he was outsmarting everybody.
And I do think that as much as people are making it seem like, oh, the Lakers are just, I think it's going to be a good series because I think that AD and Jokic, I think that matchup is going to be a good matchup because they're two people that do two different things.
Yes. Like
AD his court vision isn't that of Jokic in the sense of that's what Jokic's thing is. Like the thing that everybody talks about him, like I always think of Arvydas Sabonis.
Yes, that's what he is.
He's a more athletic Arvydas Sabonis.
He's a souped-up Arvydas Sabonis.
Yeah, to where.
But this is the thing where I think where the Lakers will have the advantage. Jokic doesn't have great footwork on defense.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
When it comes to athletic,
him having to actually guard, he hasn't had to guard. Like he guarded Gobert, which nah, and then he had to guard Montrez, but Montrez isn't AD. AD can do some of the same things Jokic can do in the sense of like, yo, I can take you outside, I can hit the three, or I can take you down low. And I don't think he's faced a person in this postseason that does what AD does.
Yeah. And you have to realize, people don't realize this, but if they were to watch highlights of Anthony Davis can handle the basketball.
Yeah, he brings the ball up.
Yeah, like he can handle the ball. And that is what causes the big mismatches between him and the next big man, is because he's moving kind of like a guard.
Yeah.
But he has low post moves.
Mm-hmm.
He can move, function around the post. So I think that's where the mismatch will be.
Yeah.
Whoever
and the fact that him
LeBron,
and LeBron can play positions that they don't necessarily.
Whoever is guarding LeBron is going to be a mismatch.
Yeah. I just hope that LeBron doesn't shy away. Like that's.
I think they're going to put Grant on him. I really do. I believe Grant will probably play mostly on LeBron.
And my hopes is that he takes it to him and not necessarily because sometimes how sometimes LeBron will settle for the jump shot.
Yep, for that three.
Yeah. So my hopes is that he doesn't. Because he let me settle for the jump shot. My hopes is like it's like nah, let me attack.
Yeah. In his mind, because this is why I say it's going to be tough. Like if you put Millsap on him, I don't think Millsap can stay in front of him.
Mm-hmm.
Like LeBron might be a little too quick for Millsap.
Yeah.
If you put Grant on him, Grant is wispy and he's long, but he's not. He don't got enough weight.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I said it's going to be a big mismatch for LeBron. And then Jokic has his work cut out for him. So
nah, for sure.
I believe that Frank Vogel will play Dwight Howard and JaVale McGee.
Yeah, definitely. Last series, like I understood why
they weren't needed.
They weren't needed. This series, because if you throw all of those big guys, you keep throwing them at Jokic, he's gonna get tired.
Yes.
Like having to bang with JaVale, having to bang with Dwight, and then now I gotta actually chase AD around because AD might play point guard. Like,
I'm telling you, it could be probably outside of like the shoot. And this is the other X factor. Rondo is an X factor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If he can find some way, because this is the thing we have seen in this playoffs, Jamal Murray can be stopped.
Yeah,
he can be shut down. He can be taken out of the game. The thing is, you just don't want him to get hot. If he gets hot,
and that's the thing. Because if he get hot, it's like his confidence level just goes, and he's like, "Yo, I'm doing whatever now. I'm doing 360 layups,
all the way 3-pointers out of bounds."
Yep.
That are going,
he start hitting them joints. It's nothing. Yeah.
That joint is him, Devin Booker, and Damian Lillard.
And I was gonna say Mitchell too.
Yeah, and Mitchell are these type of dudes that they catch fire. It is a wrap.
It's a wrap. Like it's
super wrap.
Yeah.
You know, and so those are the things that I'm looking forward to. I think the Eastern Conference Finals will be. You know what, let me not say that. I think the conference finals in a whole, Western and Eastern, are going to be good games.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah. Like I think the next game between the Heat, I think those games are going to be. I think the Heat and the Celtics are going to have closer games.
Yeah,
like how this last game was. It wasn't like neither team was like blowing the other team out. It was like I think it's going to be those 2 3-point games. I don't see either one of those teams like blowing the other team out.
No. I don't see that. I don't see that.
Whereas I can see if the Lakers catch fire like they've caught fire before.
Yeah.
Them like blowing the Nuggets out, but I also could see that happening in the reverse, like you said, if they get hot and the Lakers ain't playing up to their potential, like it not looking good.
Yeah. I think I don't know, man. Because there's a possibility that these Nuggets could beat the Lakers.
No,
there is a possibility.
And that's what I'm saying. I think people are sleeping, and I don't think that the Lakers will do it, But I honestly feel that there's a part of the Clippers that kind of was like, man, we're going to get these guys out of here. Like when they won one game, I feel that there was a part of them was like, they won. Like we did this before. Like we just beat them. Like, yeah, we're going to take care of this.
I seen that energy.
And you saw it. Oh, we up by 19. We could chill. Oh, we up by 16. We could chill. And while y'all chilling, they start hitting threes, raining them joints down. Like,
you gotta remember, Murray gave them 40.
Yes.
40.
Yeah. Points. As if they didn't see the previous series where he had 50 in 2 games.
Like, bro, I don't know what y'all doing.
Yeah.
And I think the other thing too is that removing home court advantage and stuff like that has made the playoffs way more interesting because it's literally now not like it's not that increment. It's not increment games like you get 2 here and then 2 here and then 2 here.
You got to travel all that. Yeah, where you at?
Like no, you need to get 4 games.
Yep.
Straight up like that. Don't go.
So I can get back.
We got 1 at home. And we can get, as long as we get 2 at our house, then we good. Yeah. Like that thought process is over now. It's like sure. You need to get 4 games and get them quick.
And I think that's been the crazy thing. Like so, it's like we'll see where everything will go because 2020 has been crazy. So
oh man,
it's like you never know what's gonna happen. And so something else that is crazy, but not too crazy. I don't know if you've been seeing the Kanye rants.
So like this, now I'm gonna have to give.
You about to say what I'm up? Yeah.
I have to give him credit. I'm gonna have to give him credit on this. Every big artist matter of fact, we just had this conversation.
Yep.
All right. So for all of y'all that don't know, Stitch is an MC. I'm an MC. We're in a group called the UHRISE Collective.
Mm-hmm.
We just put out a project called Black Gold on all streaming platforms, so go check that out.
Go get that.
And the other day, we just had this conversation about. I was telling Stitch a story about. There's this blog here called Out 40. Shout out to Kiki Wilson, and Stitch was placed on that list at number 8, and I guess somebody got wind of it and started making posts about like, who are these guys? They don't have deals and, they're not doing this and not doing that. And we started having a conversation about, do you have to have a deal to be a legitimate artist?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, so seeing Kanye's rants, I want to talk directly ones about the ones where he wants to be released from his deal with Universal. Yeah. Kanye is the artist of all artists in the eyes of most music connoisseurs, right?
Mm-hmm.
He pushes the boundaries. He brings about visuals that are, stunning and kind of advanced, and his shows are always remarkable.
Like for hip hop, he would be considered the 2 people he spoke about, Prince and Michael Jackson.
Yes,
he would be that for hip hop.
He would be that for hip hop. He would be that type of showman for hip hop, and for him to be at this stage where he's like, I just want to be out of this bad deal. What does it say about the record industry? Even though we can call Kanye crazy, and he definitely is.
And
even a broken clock is right at least
twice a day. Even the garbage can't get a steak.
You know what I'm saying? And when he was saying some of the things he was saying, I was like,
he said a lot of he said a lot of stuff. And the thing is, like, I sometimes put Kanye in the same place that I put like Dame Dash, Joe Budden. Sometimes you have to get past certain things. You have to get past like the rant or how it's being said, and then when you really look deeper, you go, oh. Yo, you got to actually point. Now, you said that in the most wrong way. Like, you probably shouldn't have presented it like that.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I'm seeing exactly what you're saying. And, like, it was one of those times where I was like, some of the stuff was like, okay. Like, he was, talking about, like, I need a public apology from Drake and from J. Cole and stuff. So you see that stuff and you're like, man, where are we going? Yeah, and then he gets to the point where he starts talking about the music industry and you know, artists owning their masters and stuff, and you go like, no,
yeah,
that all of that is
100%.
that's 100% correct.
100%.
Yeah,
And I think that is that is like the biggest thing with Kanye is, I think when he's in the area of expertise that he understands, like music, then a lot of what he'll say will make sense. But when he's just talking about life, and I don't think
sometimes
he really got that all together.
Sometimes you'd be like,
like I don't know if I want to listen to Kanye on
I know
that
he
level.
put up some joint and it was random. I looked and it was like Amber Rose. It was some name. Amber Rose likes to be called this in bed, and I was like, where did that come? Where did that come from in all of this that you was putting? It just seems like the thoughts just go off, and he just be like, oh, okay. Like,
and I've been there. I've done that myself.
Yeah,
but the correlation is there. Like, okay, I can see how that correlates.
But it'll tie in. Sometimes with his, it just be it's like he throwing stuff at the wall.
Yeah.
And certain things stick, and certain things kind of just fall to the wayside. But I think that's kind of been a big topic, you know, like I listened to the Joe Budden podcast, and over the last few weeks, you know, he's been talking about like the deal with Spotify. And then like in battle rap, there's been a lot of people talking about like, man, as far as like, man, we're rapping and we're getting paid, but you're getting paid off of the views off of YouTube and our likeness. And so I've been seeing just a lot of people in different industries, from podcasting to battle rap to the music industry, talking a lot about like, yo, man, I'm the product. Like, why am I allowing someone else to sell me, and I'm not reaping anything from it?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I think like in the conversation that we've had this week about just our own stuff, right? As artists, I think we both acknowledge the truth about what we do. Yeah. Like right now, are we seeing a ton of residuals and things like that from the stuff we're doing? No, we're not. But I feel like when you bet on yourself like that, and you allow yourself to work through the kinks or go through the slow process or the slow grind, that the reward on the other end is there's a lot more to the reward on the other end.
Yeah, it's more it's more fulfilling because
it's way more fulfilling.
There were less things that you have to kind of go back. You don't have to really backtrack. Like with J. Cole, where it's like, you know, J. Cole gets to a point where he's like, man, I've been doing this, and it ain't really what I've been wanting. I've been getting the things that I want, but I don't feel it. I'm not feeling it. Then he starts to do things his way, but it's like, man, I have to go back and change. So now I have to restructure everything in order to move forward.
Yeah, and for me as an artist, I would rather die fulfilled in my art than to die rich and not happy with what I contributed to the musical landscape.
Yeah, like I did all of this, and man, I got all of the bread in the world, but I don't like none of this. Like, this is trash. Like, I didn't want to do any of this. And yeah, I agree with that 100%. Like, I would definitely rather it be like this the rest of my life, but it's like I did everything how I wanted to do it. Like, I did everything. I could be like, nah, yeah, I put that out. Nobody liked it, but I loved it. Yo, I put that out. Some people liked it. Great. I loved it. Like, you know what I'm saying? To be able to do that and be happy with the actual product that you're putting out, no matter what the results are from the product, because you're not, I think, you know, for us, you know, we talked about it even with Black Gold, in the sense of like, we're not putting this out for the response that we get back. We're putting this out because it's something that we wanted to put out.
Yeah, and something
the response back. Exactly. If the response back is like, hey, bravo, we needed this, great. If the response back is like, we was good, that's cool, no problem, because I didn't do this for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And it's when we talk about Black Gold, this is one of the things that I think that I take most pride in, especially in this time frame, right? Like with COVID and stuff going on, is that, like you said, we made something that we wanted to make. And I get a lot of enjoyment from listening to it.
Yeah. And so knowing that you did something that is like, oh, this is something I wanted to do. And not like when you listen back to something and you have to be like, why was I doing that?
Why did I even? Yeah.
I know Jay-Z looks back at like the Sunshine video and is like, why'd I do that one?
Like, All in the camera, like
you know what I'm saying? You had to do with the fisheye lens.
You let Puff set you up, dog.
You know what I mean? So it's
Puff
like it's certain things like that where you'll see artists like the Locks, who is like, man, yeah, we was happy to sign with Puff, but we wasn't really trying to do the shiny suits and all that, but we had to do it because
they're on record. It's on camera. They showed you.
It's on camera with you was out that joint, just shiny suited up with dancing with Mace.
You know what I'm saying? So this is the other thing that I want to talk about, since we're in this lane with like being happy, being content with where you are. The world itself is a consumer-based market, right? Mm-hmm. It's about buying things and selling things and how I market that stuff to you. I call it the curse of more. Mm-hmm. It's, to me, more is a word that never ends.
Yeah, nah.
There's no fulfilling more.
More is infinity.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, so many times in our society, when someone says, you know what, I'm good right here at this point, and if I don't go any further, I'm okay. And people tend to look at that and go, you don't want more out of life?
Yeah.
You don't want...
It's definitely looked at like, as a negative.
Yeah.
To even tie back when we talked about in the beginning, like LeBron, like I remember LeBron coming out and being like, man, I've won 3 championships. I've won 4 MVPs. You know what I mean? I've won scoring titles. I've won this. I've won that. Like, man, if I just play ball for the love, like I want to go be with my family. Like if I don't win nothing else, like I'm good. Like I've accomplished everything I've needed to accomplish. And automatically people was like, oh, so you don't want more championships. You don't want more of this. And it's like, no one said that. What it said is that I see where I'm at and I see what I do have, and I'm content with that. Yeah. If more happens to come, cool. But the push and the strive isn't, yo, I gotta get more, I gotta get more, I gotta get more.
Yeah. And I think for me in my life, I've found that where I'm at is good for me. Yeah. And especially as I'm getting older, I'm just not that, like, I see it all day along my timeline. And again, I'm not downplaying or, talking down to anyone who has this philosophy in life, but the get the bag type of grind, it just is never settled well with me. I'm always at peace at doing things that I love. I'm always at peace when I can kind of keep my hand and guide the current of my life to make sure that I'm not bypassing or missing anything like family time, personal time and stuff like that. Like I have found for myself that this is a great place for me. And if there's more on the table, then that's what's up. If there is not, then I am cool. Like I sleep well, I eat well, I get to talk with my loved ones. I share time with the people that I care about. Like I'm starting to move past I gotta be the guy. I gotta be the one on top. I gotta be numero uno. I gotta get as much money as I possibly can. Like all that stuff is kind of not how I'm functioning these days. And there would be days where I would be like questioning it because, people are challenging you or you're looking at something. You're like, oh man, they just got this. Maybe I need more. Maybe I'm settling. And the more I started thinking, like, man, I'm chill. Like I'm good. I'm at peace. Yeah.
And I think too, seeing it
peace.
For sure. No, I agree with that. And I think too, like, as we grow up, like I've seen so many different aspects of it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I've seen it in the sense of the practical side of more, in the sense of like, oh, we got 2 kids now. We need another room. So we need something bigger, but it's a need. It's not necessarily a want. It's like, we're not going to be able to all cram into here. Yeah. We need something bigger. So I've seen that side of it. And then I've seen the side of like, yo, I'm going to go get the Jag, but I'm in a 1-bedroom apartment. Yeah. And the Jag probably shouldn't have been the car that I bought. Yeah. So I had this Jag for 2 months and now I got to get this Jag back because it wasn't, because I tried to go for the more because of a lot of times our want for the more is really for outside appearance.
Yeah, it's definitely not. A lot of times it's not something you necessarily need.
Yeah, it's not something you necessarily need. It's for outside appearance. It's like right now, my car is paid off. You know what I'm saying? My car, 09, that joint get me from point A to point B. And I remember my mom being like, are you gonna get a new car? I'm like, for what?
Exactly.
So you don't want like this joint get me from point A to point B. My AC just went out, but the weather is cooler now. So
you know what I'm saying? It's gonna be cold.
So it's gonna be cold. My heat still works, so I'm good.
That's it. We out
You know
here.
what I'm saying? Now, if in between this year and next summer something happens and I'm able to get a new whip, cool.
Then let's do it.
But am I out here like, is that the focal point of why I'm pushing? Like, yo, I gotta gotta get this extra job because I need to get this new whip. Nah, I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm straight. This joint is still moving. You know what I mean?
And
I think
that's my thing. Is like, why should anyone look down upon you for making that decision for yourself?
exactly. Like, because at the end of the day, like I always say, you gonna pay that car note?
Exactly.
You're not gonna pay that car note. Oh, okay, cool.
And I don't want to hear it.
Then leave me and let me be how I be. Because unless you want to come in and take care of some bills, I want all the more that you want me to want.
Yeah.
Because I think sometimes people fail to realize with more comes more other stuff. More responsibility, more bills, more, you know what I'm saying? And also with more comes less of other things, less time, less, you know what I'm saying? So I think sometimes people don't weigh the pros and cons of it. And it's not that there's things that I want in life. You know what I mean? But then there's also a way that I want to go about it.
Yeah.
I think, and I think that you can't look down on someone for not necessarily going about it how you would go about it. Like, oh, so you're not going to get the 5 jobs and just grind out at
No, I don't got time for that.
I'm good. I don't even want the 1. So I'm good. Like, so you want me to add 4 more? Like,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, so I definitely agree with you on that in the sense of in society, everything that's done is for the more. The only reason there's YouTube ads, the only reason there's ads on your, if you go look at a pair of Nikes right now, 9 times out of 10, when you scroll through Facebook, you're going to see some Nike ads because everything is, yo, we want you to get that. We want you to get that. We want you to get that.
It's to me, it's really crazy. Because when you do find that comfort in just being you and whatever makes you happy, and whatever makes you, and I don't say happy in the form of like this continuous loop, but the moments of joy that come when you're doing things just the way you want to do them, and it's working out for you, and it's not straining you mentally, and then it's not pulling from you, physically. You're not exhausted or or overwhelmed, that you can't just stay there and people are making you feel like you gotta, like I said, like if you rap, you gotta have a deal in order to be a success in music. And it's like
no,
I'm cool. True. I completed something. I completed a body of work.
Exactly.
And now I can share that body of work. That to me is a success, opposed to like I signed on a dotted line with some terrible deal.
I think we've as we've gotten older and just being here, like there's a false sense of what success is. And I think we fail to realize that like success is different for every person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Success is different. Like I remember going to Giant Eagle one time, and I think I told you this story, and like I saw this kid. He's not a kid no more. He's a man now.
Yeah.
That was a kid when me and Sham worked for the Boys and Girls Club.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, oh man, what's up, Miss Lorenzo? Like, yo, how you been? I'm like, oh, I'm good. Like, what you doing? He's like, I'm about to go to work. Yeah, I work in the meat department, whatever. And I remember telling my wife and being like, yo, that joint is crazy. Like, yo, he got a job. To me, he might not think that he's made it in his mind. He might not. To me, knowing who he was as a kid and knowing the path that he was on and then seeing he got a job, like a legit job, I was like, yeah, I was proud of him.
Yeah.
He didn't even, because I was like, yo, like yo, you got a job. Like
I didn't think you were gonna make it that far.
Because we didn't know if you was going to even make it to go fill out no job application.
Yeah.
Because you were headed somewhere else. So it's like when we look at our situations and we look at life and stuff like that, I think we have this false equivalent of what success is, because oftentimes we compare our success, like what they were doing, to what someone else is doing. Well, oh, that rapper has Lil Wayne has a record deal. You don't got no record deal. So who are you? And it's like, yeah, but I can also point some things out and be like, yo, he's also owed mad money and had to kick out money that I didn't have to kick out and do music that I didn't want to do and all of that. So there's pros and cons to all things, you know? And like we talked about, like with the locks, like how Styles P in interviews always is like, nah, I love being independent.
Yeah. And Jada's like, no, I want the record deal back. I want to get that because And they both have pros to them. Like Styles P is like, nah, I just like putting out music whenever I want. Yeah, I gotta grind a little bit more and come up with the money myself. And Jada's like, yeah, I like putting out albums in spurts, but they let the machine do all the work. They do all the work. So there's pros and cons to it, but it's just all relative to what the person wants. And oftentimes, like I said, people use their opinion and be like, oh, well, you're not successful because. Yeah. And it's like, yeah, but who said that that's what success is? Yeah, and like when you think about like people's opinion, right? Mm-hmm. And those things are based upon people's experiences and the things that, upbringings, all types of things. Yeah. So I don't think that's always a good barometer to measure things with, is people's opinion, because people's opinions are so fickle. Like even when you think about a situation like when yesterday it was reported that Cardi B filed divorce from Offset. Mm-hmm. I guess amongst another cheating scandal. Like I said, I've never been a big proponent of outside marital affairs. Mm-hmm. And supposedly from the report, this is like the 8th time he's been caught. So she's just like, but people's opinion, like again, like watching social media, which I think after 2020, it's like maybe we should just like really do a little bit less of that. They were bringing up lyrics from WAP to justify why Offset might have left her or cheated or they're getting a divorce. They're like, you said yourself you don't cook or clean. And it's like, see, I told you that you could do all this for a man and be nasty and all this and all of those things are true. I'm not saying that none of those are things
9
are
times out
true.
of 10, Cardi B probably doesn't cook or clean because she doesn't have to. There's probably a chef in there chefing up whatever Offset would like to eat.
Like, and even if it like, how is it? Why do you feel the need to say something like that in a time where she might be distraught? This is the father of her child. There's history there. Like these are all things that and when I talk about the money and being content into the opinions of people, all those things are like kind of bunched together, right? Mm-hmm. They just assume, well, she has money, so she'll be fine. She can find another Offset anywhere. But that's probably not how she feels. Yeah, that's exactly how you feel based upon your opinion and what you think of her because of what you know she has or what you think she has or does.
When in all honesty, 9 times out of 10, like the opinion that you have don't really matter.
Like you wouldn't tell your cousin, you wouldn't say those same lyrics to your cousin. Exactly. If they posted that they were getting a divorce, you'd be like, oh, I'm so sad for you, cousin. Is there anything I can do? Can I pray for you?
You know what I mean? You're going to try to be there. But I think, like I said, I think it's one of those things that nowadays, because of social media gives everyone their own soapbox. Yeah. And I honestly feel that people wait around, they have these thoughts and stuff, and they wait around for a moment to happen. And it's like, oh, it's time to get on my soapbox now. Yeah. I finally got the moment that I can hop on I've been wanting to say something about this song. They getting a divorce. Yeah. Now's my chance to say something about this song and try to tie it in. And it'd be like, nah, it don't even. Nah, it was unnecessary. It was super unnecessary. To where you want to look and be like, no, that was a stupid analogy. You should have kept it to yourself.
It was horrible. I was like, this woman's probably had, a horrible couple of weeks if this is the case. And all y'all keep talking about is WAP lyrics. Right?
Yeah, and then it's one of those things to where it's like, unless they come out and say it, like, how do you even know? Unless it's them, because I know there was something about like Idris Elba, and I guess people were saying like, oh, she had the baby, and Idris Elba came out and was like, we don't got no baby. Like, what are y'all talking about? Like, he was like, let me just go ahead and dead this right now. Like, we don't have no baby. What are y'all talking about? So it's like y'all just gave him a whole kid, and
it wasn't even what was going on.
Wasn't even what was going on. But other people will chime in, and it becomes a snowball. And you know, everybody's opinion then went into something that you don't even know about. So I definitely think, even in the sense of like what you said about being content and not wanting more, like I think sometimes like less of your opinion is a good thing sometimes.
Oh man.
Like sometimes, so there's sometimes I look and I be like, yo, I'm good. I'm good. My opinion really isn't good in that.
Yep, I'm not even gonna touch that.
Not even.
And not even just in like social. Like there's times where I am having a conversation with someone and they are asking me something. I'm like, I'm gonna leave that out for today.
Yeah,
we'll stick with the particulars for right now.
Exactly.
I'm cool.
We're just gonna stay content where it's at. But nah, so I definitely agree with that. You know, I think that everyone has their own achievement goals in life. Yeah. And I don't think that we should downplay someone else's achievement goals based on what we may have. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I might want the Benz and the Bentley. I'm good though. You know what I mean? And all those things. But just because somebody else wants like a Hyundai and, you know what I'm saying, and a Mitsubishi, I shouldn't be like, yo, you don't want the Benz?
You don't want that?
That's it? You just want to stop there?
And it's like, no, I don't want to pay $150 for an oil change. No, I don't.
I don't want to pay $700 to get my tire changed. Like,
yeah, I'm sure. I'm good. You know, and that's the thing. Like, I just feel like, especially now, if we haven't learned our lesson from what coronavirus brought to the slowing down of America, to say, look, man, enjoy your friends, enjoy your family. Yeah. Find something that you love and do it, because life is too short. Yeah. Someone that I grew up with passed away yesterday. A young man by the name of Anthony Ferguson. Oh, and
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, he passed away, and you know, he's a young man. Mm-hmm. And it just made me think of all the things that I don't do because I'm trying to find a better time, or you know, you don't want to disappoint someone or hurt someone's feelings, or just all these things that we put off, right? Like, you want a new job, but you won't get a new job because all the people that you know look forward to seeing you come to work at your old job.
Yeah, you know so you're just gonna stay at the old job. Yeah,
you just stay at the old job because you know how it works, and you're too fearful to learn anything new. Yeah, and, you know, just all of these different things and different reasons. You know, you don't put out music because you haven't perfected it yet, and it's not perfect. You know, all of the different things you can do. I feel like time is not going to allow for those things to keep continuing to happen. Like, you got to step out there. You got to start doing some of the things that you have the ability to do while you're alive.
While you're alive, because you never
literally
know.
I saw Anthony Ferguson probably like 2 weeks ago. Literally saw him 2 weeks ago. Said what's up. We talked for like 2 seconds. And next couple of days, they're like, yeah, he's gone. Yeah. And the mother of his children just passed away a couple months ago. So now these, you know, there's children that without both both parents are gone. Like, those are the things that we need to be focusing on, in this energy of doing the things that you love to do, and because you have time to do it now. That was one of the big reasons that I was like, we got to making these records happen. Yep.
Even the show, like,
yes.
You know what I'm saying? This is something we had talked about for a minute, and I think I definitely do feel that us stepping out and doing it, I think that even opened up the doors for us to be like, yo, all right, let's start working on this music though. Let's start, you know what I mean? And it helped us to be able to, it gave us an outlet. You know what I mean? And now that we have the outlet, it's like an outlet that we're also able to bring other people on and say, hey, yo, we're going to interview this person, or, hey, we're going to do. So it gave us an outlet to be able to get out our thoughts and our creativity and how we feel about things, and not necessarily always have to go here with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But being able to bring it in a forum to where we can actually say, oh, this is, and you can actually get the clarity. Because a lot of times, like when we're doing stuff on here, clarity is lost in it. It's like people get a chance to go, oh, no, he meant this, or he meant this, or he was angry when he did this. Whereas here, we're able to talk about a lot of stuff that we would post anyway, but actually give some clarification behind those words.
Yeah. And like I said, just with everything that I've seen in 2020, it's just like, man, this is crazy. It's a crazy time that we're living.
Yeah.
And like, we really got to get focused. And like I said, again, do those things that you think you're putting off for some other time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, start stepping into those things and,
Sure.
you know, and allowing that to settle you and start building on your peace. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of times people are not at peace because they're not doing, you know, what's in their heart.
Exactly.
You know,
I think that'll sometimes spark that more, like, nah, I got to do this. I got to do this. I got to do this. Where I think sometimes when you're like, oh man, I'm doing what I want to do, you kind of do get to that point of calmness to where it's like, nah, I'm actually doing the things that I want to do. So I'm not trying to find. I'm not like searching for, you know what I'm saying, the extra.
Yeah. So I think that's probably like that. Those things are like some of the biggest things. Like even like from talking about the NBA to even talking to Cardi B, all those things are, you know, based upon you getting the most of your time.
Yeah.
Right. Like the Clippers didn't do that. They kind of, I don't know how they fell apart or why they fell apart.
I don't know.
But it's tough. It's, as we've seen, to get to the finals. Not every great player does it. Not every great team does it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like the Sacramento Kings are like one of the best teams that I'd ever watched play basketball, but they didn't make it to the finals.
They didn't make it to the finals, yeah.
You know? So it's like, man, you got to execute. You got to grab hold of time and start doing the things that I always say that you've been designed to do. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of times when those things are in your heart, it's like, why would they be there if they weren't designed for you to do them?
Exactly.
Like if there wasn't an urge for you to do them. So I think that's like, even hearing that noise, the news last night about, you know, Anthony Ferguson, like I was just like, wow. Like I was at a loss for words, and I was just like, man, it's so crazy because his kids just lost their mother. You know, like you hear about stories like that, but that's a real thing right now. You know, so it's like, man, love the people. Make sure you talk to the people that you love. I think we talked about this last episode.
Yeah, that was what I say. That's like super key. I think even more than anything else is like not taking the people who are around you and connected to you for granted. You know what I mean? Because I think oftentimes, like I've been at, you know, funerals, and sometimes you hear those cries and screams, and like I think a lot of times, as much as there's a sadness, there's also a guilt of like, regret, man, I didn't take the time to do certain things, or I didn't take the time out to. So I think, you know, just definitely letting the people who are close to you and around you know that, like, yo, I love you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I see you, you know what I mean? I think those definitely things are key, especially in these times.
Yeah, it's definitely a big thing on my list. And it's why I talk about trying to, you know, maximize the time that we've been given, especially here in the season where COVID is a big stopper for a lot of things.
Yeah.
I'm like super thankful for a lot of the things that we've been able to do in this period of time. And again, all of that kind of boils down to our supporters and the people who help us get to this point. Mm-hmm. So shout out to the people, shout out to the university on Patreon.
Yep.
Again, if you want to support the Stitch Sham Show and all of our endeavors, you can go to patreon.com/UHRISE. And I think we got a couple different tier plans there.
Yeah.
You know, find the one that best suits your budget.
Yep.
Because all of that helps.
You know what I mean?
Out.
Definitely.
is definitely a big thing. Again, me and Stitch just put out a EP called Black Gold. It's kind of social justice driven. You can go to UHRISE. Yep, there it is right there. There it is.
That's in case y'all don't know how to spell it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that was dope. That was a dope joke. You can go to UHRISEmusic.com and check that out. But it's also now available on all streaming platforms. Yep. It did have explicit
Spotify, Apple Music.
Yeah, it has explicit by, but parents is not explicit. we don't be on there acting crazy.
Wilding.
Yeah, we don't be wilding. So you guys definitely can stream that. Every stream counts for us. So again, like we said, we're doing this independently. We're working really, really hard and trying to make sure that we bring you guys quality content, quality music. Mm-hmm. We also are sponsored by Icon Nation. So as you can read on the shirt, please go to Icon Nation and check out some of the merch there. Zoe, you said you got some new stuff coming.
Yeah, so new stuff will be out this week. I have some stuff to you. Probably okay. I'll be contacting them today, so probably within the next couple of days. And then the site should be up next week with like all of the new stuff, the buckets that you got. You see, he got the cream 5-panel on and the salmon. You know what I'm saying? The salmon Icon Nation. You know what I mean?
That's when you get into your Wu-Tang bag.
You know what I'm saying? You got to get into the Wu-Tang bag too.
Salmon on.
Like, yeah, you know what I mean? Right. Yeah, so so definitely we got more stuff coming for y'all. Please, 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 I implore you to go to our Patreon. We definitely want to add more tiers and do a lot more with the Patreon. So we definitely appreciate everyone who has already been there. We have episodes coming that the public doesn't get to see unless you are on Patreon. We have episodes and things like that on there. So we definitely appreciate all those who have supported thus far.
Yep. So again, man, we thank you guys for being with us on the broadcast.
Yes.
And hanging out with us. I think we're going to do another episode this week because there's a lot of political things on the horizon, and we definitely want to reach out and talk to some of our community leaders and things like that. So we got a special episode probably coming towards the tail end of either this week or next week.
Yeah.
So again, we thank you guys for tuning into the Stitch and Sham Show. I'm Sham Phoenix.
I'm Stitch Early.
Peace.